Hi. Hello. I have prepared a lot of pictures. I prepared pictures for 20 minutes, but I know I have 10 minutes. So I am, like many of you, thinking that to build a better future, we need to build up on the experience of past generation. Here, this picture is talking about the wolf standing on the shoulder of giant. So it's the way to just say how generous, how grateful we are to be able to benefit from the experience from past generation. Ladies and gentlemen, what is if you came from a culture where knowledge is vocally transmitted? This is where I'm coming from. So this is a picture of Burkina Faso, the first one of the capital of Ouagadougou, taken 1930. So here you could clearly see the intention. There was an idea to create a second Paris. So, but this here is, ladies and gentlemen, my criticism. Look at what happened after the colonial time. What we are doing is to keep replicate a structure that is eating the land that we need to feed our people. This is why I'm criticizing it. So talking about reality, this is reality in Burkina Faso. So to go from one city to another, this is the way people transport things. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a school. Today, even today, you will still see buildings like this in Ouagadougou, in Burkina, even the capital city, and then everywhere in the country. And this is a classroom. I tell you, I sat myself in a class like this with more than 100 other kids. But ladies and gentlemen, this was a great privilege. If I'm standing before you today, it is because I had the chance to attend education. Education, university education is something that is still a big dream for many millions of kids in Burkina Faso. So I am a privileged guy. But what you will ask me, what do you do with that privilege? I wanted to make myself useful for my community. I wanted to go back and build a school in the village where I grew up, where there was no school. I was forced to leave my parents when I was 7 to attend education. So, but how do you build if you are still a student, having a big heart for your community and no money? So I was using different ideas. One idea was to go back and check what is the background of that culture where people stand together, the communities stand together to do all the hard work. For example, fixing construction. So, and then I went back to explain to my people, if we want to have a better future, we have to build up on the material we have the most available. This is, for example, clay. So we start to use it and use rocks, as you can see, and every part of the community was there, the women, the men, all together, we created this building. And this building will show you really the difference. The classroom I have found has been improved. We introduced new techniques. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that still today, in the age of high-speed internet, smartphone, and all of these gadgets, in Burkina Faso, still more than 60% of the population are neither able to read nor write. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, how do you explain drawing and engineering, architecture to these people? What I do is to make a little simple section, and I put some notes on the plan. So like 6 layers, and put a piece of metal where we later will fix the door. Or we make, and that is the building. We was able to build like this, and the buildings comes with no maintenance, which is great. But sometimes we make a big model for everyone to see, and I will jump on the top. And some of my friends will join me. And as you can see from left to right, some don't really trust the structure. Yeah. So, but that is how I try to convince them, and so to change, okay, and to introduce architecture. And if everything is fixed, we go building structure like this that many people can use. And here, let me allow myself to tell you that even the animals loves our buildings because it's cool. Yeah. So we have been working on this issue, and suddenly very serious institutions start to discover what I'm doing. The first one was the Aga Khan Network for Development, who asked me to do a museum for them in Mali. So the idea was to use the model of Gando, but improve it using glass. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been my very first building with glass, a museum in Mali. But you will ask yourself, what is the innovation in a building like this? In Mali, which is almost a desert, people use wood to build mosques, to do the ceilings. Here, we have introduced a ceiling out of clay bricks. If you have a concern for the environment, ladies and gentlemen, then there's this great innovation in this place where there is no trees and where people cut the leftover to build. This is the innovation in this building. And then we keep doing. Here, I show you in very quick how I introduce ideas. This is high school in the third largest city in Ouagadougou that I just completed last year with my team. The innovation here was to use ventilation tower. It's now in the Arab world, and people may say it's old. What is old in some places of the world can be an innovation in my place. So we just go, check the ownership of the land, and I take over control. Here we wanted to use laterite. Laterite is a miracle stone. No mud, no clay. It is soft if we dig it, but if you get it out, it can become hard with the contact of the air. So people use this for generation, but they think it is a cheap material. It is not a modern one. Cutting it with a machine in front of everyone make it a beautiful material, a modern material. That's how I introduce innovation, or I change people's behavior. So then we start to build. It's almost a desert. The towers are growing. And people come to watch because it's an event. In some places in Burkina, you have even no electricity. Or most of the places you have no electricity. And no theater like this. So building like I do become a big event. And we build even by night. Here is wood, eucalyptus wood, that is used as a scaffolding. I wanted to use this to give it another meaning. So we just take it, prepare it, wrap it to create a facade. Very simple. And this is a window. We wanted to give it more sense. With the leftover, we start to fix benches. The kids would sit on it, but if you make it good, you could very quickly hide under the sitting a bucket with water. It can be 45 degrees in the sun in Burkina Faso. So inside it is dry. If you put this little bucket, you will cool the inside. You will make it humid. You create a nice place for kids to learn. A comfortable place for teacher to teach. That's how I build. So, but it's not all. It is almost a desert. So we have to plant trees. Here are some sketches. Right? Already planted tree. This is rainy season. That's why the hole is full. And then There are pots. We want to use them to create a sort of drop technology. Of course, you will tell yourself that it's easy what Francis is doing. Yes, of course, we get the pot close by. If they break, you will replace. But ladies and gentlemen, the challenge here is, how do you explain people whose life expectation is far under 60 to dig a deep hole, 2 meters, and 1 meter or 2 meter diameter, and put the plant they will never see grow? This is a big challenge. So we put the pot, and then that is the result. After 12 months of work, the trees are already growing, but now they're even bigger. Less than 2 years, you create space. If I arrive, I am happy. I can hear the noise of the kids inside the building. I can see the bicycle. It is wonderful. It works. So, and the users are really happy. But what happened is, people start very quickly to settle around the structure. They want to be close of an educational infrastructure. That is what we can do. What you can do as a privileged person. I am a privileged person. I have a foundation. To build, it was not easy. It's called today Kéré Foundation. In the past, the name was long, was German. It was for the school project in my own village. It was named Schulbausteine for Gando e.V., which was very long. So some friend says, if you read the name of your foundation, we don't connect it to the success of your architecture. Maybe you do so, you will have more money. I did it. I don't know if I will raise more money, but if I do so, I will build and show you the project. And that's what I'm doing when I got the money. In Germany, I have no time. If I have time, I will go to a school and do what you can see, me running with kids. And we could raise money for my foundation, and I keep building. And that's what we do. We want to do things differently because I don't want my people to stack. So here is something that we have, because we don't often have that much alternative. There are clay pots again. We take them, bring them to the site, I mark them, I work really, believe me, and then we go to cut. And if the cuts are good, we go to a sort of industrial production. Like you can see, we put them to the top of the roof, we pour the concrete, and that is the result. With this method, we create opening for light and ventilation, using the most available local material in the front of the people. That is what we do. I talk about the foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not sure about the time. That's why yes. So I want to say, I spoke about the foundation. I think that I can say you there is not a big lobby for good project in the place where I'm coming from. The reality is we are closer than you think. And we cannot just keep pointing the finger to the politician to tell them to fix the thing. We have to have the courage to do it. So I give you an idea. The West has no bigger friend than Africa. Africa is your bigger fan. We are looking to you. Many of them risk their life to come to your place. But I really love you. If you watch, in my village, it will happen to you to even find a flake of Ajax in the remote village. So we're looking up to you. And I'm happy to tell you today that the number of your fans is growing very rapidly. In less than 40 years, the population in Africa will double. So you have a lot of fans. In less than 60 years, every of 4 people, one of 4 people in the world will be an African, watching to you to join your paradise. If we want to save peace in Europe and in Africa, we have better to change our way of doing things. We have to support initiative coming from this country and not always so accusing it of all the misery that we know. Thank you very much.